Hey, what's going on, tribe? Welcome to my channel. So, this is interesting. I'm looking like a fucking doctor and all that. So funny. I hate glasses with a passion, yeah. But yeah, anyway, let's go on. I got this weird download. No, it wasn't even a weird download. I got a download the other day, and my human mind, ego, is still trying to process it or whatever. So I'll kind of explain to you or relay the message or download to the best of my ability, because the human some of the information that we get from the ethers, the human mind cannot process. And if we was to if we were to absorb all the information, our brains will probably explode, or we'll just end up having a meltdown or whatever, because there's too much information for the mind to process. This is one reason why I think we're seeing a lot of problems with like mental health is on the rise and stuff, due to the information overload. Like, the mind is being constantly stimulated and bombarded with information. TikToks, social media, Facebook, YouTube, like you can have any information that you want at the drop of a hat, right? Alright, cool. So let's begin anyway. So it was really weird, because it's been on my mind for a while about, you see how they've been spraying the skies and spraying us with bullshit and trying to control the weather, right? Geoengineering and shit. So I was thinking, like, there's got to be a bigger reason to why they're doing all this, because the dark entities, as I like to call them, they literally work day and night to keep us enslaved, right? So I was thinking, there's got to be, like, what is going on? So I've done a video a little while ago about the Earth going through its cycle, and then I was googling something and it come up with the Earth goes through a cycle like every, I think it's either 26,000 years or 2,600 years. I can't remember what it actually was. So every few thousand years the Earth will go through a cycle, and like I said before, the places that are desert and sandy now was what once ocean, is what I believe, right? So like the Sahara was desert, and then there's lost civilizations underwater, yeah, like Atlantis, and in certain countries there's like civilizations underwater, right? So I was thinking, all right, cool. So they're doing all this with the sky and controlling the weather, and what's the bigger, there's got to be something way bigger going on than what we can actually see and know, should I say. But I can feel stuff on a level that things are changing, on an energetic level, like very dramatically. It's like there's, what I can envision is like there's just two clashes of forces of energy just colliding with each other. That's all I can envision. But yeah, the message was basically about it's funny because I was like, oh, that's interesting. So basically the messages, or the download, was about the cycle. So by them trying to, how should we say it, block out the sun or dim the sun out, this is for the esoteric folk, for the people that are aware and conscious. So by them trying to dim out the sun, or block out the sun, should we say, is basically slowing down the Earth cycle, that we're going into. So the Earth warming up is the normal cycle. This is the original cycle that should be happening, right? But then you have the entities saying, global warming is a problem and we need to stop using certain things and blah blah blah. So the global warming is just used as a cover-up, basically. So everything that we're seeing is actually basically slowing down the process of this cycle, right? So by them dimming out the sun, it slows down plants and humans absorbing light, which in plants it creates photosynthesis and sorry, 1 second. Creates photosynthesis and this is a nightmare, sorry. Every time something always happens in the matrix while I'm trying to do a video anyway. So yeah, the plants will take in light and humans will take in light. That creates photosynthesis, which then, for the plants, it changes the carbon dioxide into oxygen. We need the oxygen to breathe, right? So it's like it's like the tree of life. We are all connected, right? So by them blocking out the sun, it's slowing down the photosynthesis and growth of plants, right? Which is slowing down our growth, right? Stay with me here, yeah? Because it's spring here, and usually by now, like we're basically at the end, we're basically going into May, right? Well, supposedly, I don't even know, like the calendars and shit is just such a mess, I don't even know what is happening anyway. But by now, usually the plants are kind of fully bloomed, yeah? Or on the verge of blooming, like to maximum. But the process is way slower now that all the shit that they're doing and all this, and there's other things that are coming into play that are slowing the process down. So by them slowing down the process of plant life, it is slowing down our evolution and growth process, right? Stay with me here. So if I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my house plants, the last 2 years, they have just been doing so poorly. They've just been they've just been struggling. I have been neglecting them a little bit, but overall, they are actually struggling. They're not getting enough light, they're not getting enough heat, and shit is changing, right? So usually the plants that I can neglect, they are actually struggling, and it's like, okay, and then I start nurturing them again, and I'm not seeing much change. And usually, if I start seeing I've been neglecting a plant, then I usually start showing it some love, and then it'll usually come back. But this isn't happening, so there's obviously something happening that's stopping this process from going on. Because when I've got my green fingers going, they come back to life. So that was the download. So by them doing certain things, they're trying to slow down the process, and everything in the matrix is in reverse. So things that are advertised, and they say most of the things, not all, because I know there's some people that take things for gospel and that and don't do their research, but most of the things that are advertised, or the system likes to advertise, isn't good for you, and they don't have your best health don't have your health at their best interest. Yeah, everything is in reverse in the matrix, if you guys haven't noticed that by now. So by them saying global warming is speeding up, they're actually trying to slow down the process of this so-called global warming. But it's not actual global warming, it's just a normal cycle that the earth goes through. The earth goes through cycles every 3,000 years, like with the dinosaurs, and the earth is changing, things changing. So when Mother Earth is vibrating on a higher vibration, right? So the more greenery there is outside, the higher the vibration, right? Like, you know, when you go into nature and if you're feeling stressed or whatever, as soon as you go into nature, take your shoes off and ground, you'll feel more at peace, right? So my conclusion is, and the download, and it starts to make sense now, by them slowing down the process of plant life, it is actually slowing down the process of ascension and our evolution, if that makes sense. Because if plants are growing slower, we're going to be growing slower, right? Because without the plants, we would not exist, right? This is why I don't understand humans, like be there cutting down rainforest and stuff. And it's like, dude, you do actually know that you need trees to breathe, right? So if there's no plants, there's no us, right? So yeah, there's been, yeah, for some strange reason also as well, I've been seeing a lot of just bees just dying as well. Like, I walked outside my house the other day for a cigarette and I looked on the floor and there was just a bee, and there's this big, I just seen more and more bees just spread out, just laying around and that, and I'm like, okay, something weird's going on here. So yeah, that's kind of my conclusion. Or it's not even a conclusion, it was actually a download, because I was thinking for the last year or so, it's like, oh, it's so annoying, like being so aware of certain things that are going on and it being out of one's control. So the only thing that we can do is surrender, right? Which is just a part of the journey, and very frustrating at times, very frustrating. Yeah, very frustrating, so frustrating. And yeah, like I said, we're going through a cycle and things are changing, and a lot of people are not ready for things that, how things are going to be changing and things that are to come. One thing that I did notice that people aren't ready for, and this has been going on since 2020, yeah, so they used the whole thing with 2020 to basically crash the NHS, right? And they're basically gonna we'll see how it goes, but they're gonna try to privatize the NHS, right? And a lot of people ain't ready for it. You're welcome. A lot of people ain't ready for it. So what I've noticed is they've been slowly doing this with the other services, like the fire brigade. Like, I used to have a fire station right near my house, and a few years ago, must have been about 10 years ago that they decided to close this down, the fire station. So I was like, oh, why are they closing that down? And then they've over the last couple of years, they've been taking more and more funding out of from the police and stuff. So we're seeing a lot more crime and stuff going on. So now they're starting to do that with the doctors and stuff. So a lot of people ain't ready for what's to come. So it's good to be aware, and everything is how it should be. But yeah, sometimes being gifted is a blessing and a curse in a way. Yeah, some information is a bit, for the human mind, sometimes it's a lot to process and a lot to take in, but for the spirit it's normal. So it's wild, because I'm pretty balanced between the both, if that makes sense. But sometimes I can get lost in the ego and get caught up in shit that doesn't actually matter, but to the ego it does matter, but to the soul it's just an experience, yeah, if that makes sense. And Ra is beamers. These times I don't even know if that's the actual sun. Like, they even feel like, I don't know, before you could stand out in it and feel recharged. These times it's not doing as it used to do. I don't know, it's fucking weird shit's happening, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, that was just a little, yeah, that was a little download, should I say, man, download that I got about what's actually going on and the kind of process that we're in. So maybe this is why it feels like we're in hermit mode, and things have come to a halt at the moment because there is being, what's the word? Things are being tampered with to slow down the process of the ascension and the human evolution. But these entities, they're not going to go out easily, and they're going to go out fighting, kicking and screaming till the last days, because they fear to lose what control, power, greed, all of that. They fear to lose that, and that is slowly coming to an end. So we just gotta just hold tight and just go with the process, man. And everything is how it should be. So wherever you're at on your journey, that's exactly where you need to be. But yeah, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna hit you guys up with another video. I'm gonna get guided to you anyway. Peace, love and light, tribe.